Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and model and UV map the torso. Okay, so up here at the top, I'm going to go back to the Layout tab, and I'm going to press numpad 1 to get into front view. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press Shift C to get the 3D cursor back to the center of the world here. I'm going to go ahead and delete the camera. I'm going to select the camera here, X, delete it. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the other image. My character, Indiana Jones, had two images, so I'm going to press Shift A, go down here to Image, Reference, and I'll load in the other image. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to rename the image, and instead of it being called empty, we'll just call it something like a body ref. There we go. And then I'll come down here, click on this little icon right over here, enable opacity, and lower the opacity to less than 50%. Something like that. Okay, good. All right, so this video is going to be focusing on the torso here. So you will notice, this is something that a lot of my students ask about, is that you can see here's the front of his torso here, and you can see that there are these extra pieces here that say R and S. These are tabs, these are paper tabs that would then fit into other body parts so that the character can actually attach. The actual torso is just this square shape right here. So imagine that this line actually goes straight across right here. Okay, all right, so I'm going to press Shift, right mouse click, and place the 3D cursor right here in the center of his torso. Press Shift A, and I'll add in a mesh cube. Cube comes in pretty big. Press Tab, get into edit mode, scale it down, S to scale, G to grab, and there we go. Okay, press A twice to deselect, B to box select, and I'm going to box select the bottom here, G, Z, grab it, bring it up, B to box select the right side, G, X, bring it in. Okay, and so that looks pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and press Tab, go back into object mode. And you can see his torso isn't quite a perfect square. You can see over here, if you press the letter N, and you come up here to the item tab and you come down here to dimensions, you can see that the dimensions aren't quite perfect. It's a little taller. So the Z-axis is a little taller. So I'm going to make X and Y be the same. So I know X is correct. So I'm going to click on this number here. I'm going to copy it, and I'll come down here, click, and I'm going to paste it, press return, and there we go. So now if I press numpad 3, there we go. And we can see that there. His torso looks a little small compared to his head, so I'll just keep that in mind. Okay, so one thing you can do, you can see that these are the sides, his left side and his right side, and these two little slits that you see here, this is actually how his paper arm would attach. So again, for him, just ignore something like that. You can also see that on my Indiana Jones, he's got his whip off to the side here, and it goes down, but then it also goes below his waist. So that could be an interesting little challenge. It looks like he's got like a little bag here or something. So I'll deal with that in a little bit. One thing you can try, if you aren't sure if the torso is the right size is if I am in object mode, if I press G and then X and then I just slide it over here to the side, you can see that it does in fact match up. So that means that it's correct. I'm going to go ahead and undo that. All right, I think it is ready to UV unwrap this. So I'm going to click up here into the UV editing tab. I've got my torso here selected. I'm going to hide the body reference image over here, so that way it's just a little easier to see. And then I'm going to select the whole body, zoom in over here, my UV map. I'm going to rename the body, so instead of cube, it's going to be called torso. There we go. And I'm going to come down here, add a new material. We'll call this torso. Click on the little yellow dot next to base color, image texture. I'm going to choose the image. Now this is going to be, because I have a second image, it's going to be a different image here, so I'm not sure which one it is. And there we go. That's the correct one. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, so now I'm going to make sure that I'm in face mode, and I'm going to select this front face here. And you can see there it is right there. So basically we do the exact same thing that we did for the head. So now things will go a little faster. So over here in the UV window, I'm going to press A to select all. I'll go ahead and press R to rotate it. Oop, need to go the other way. And I'll go ahead and get it like that. Scale it down a little bit. G to grab. And I'll get it right about there. Okay, so again, G to grab, and again, I like to go on the inside of the black lines there. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to pause the video, and I'll be right back when I'm done with the front face. Okay, so there we go. There is the front face there of his torso, and so now I'm just going to go around and take care of things. So again, select the face over here in the 3D window, figure out what side it is. Come back over here to the UV window, press A to select all, G to grab once you figured it out where it's going to go. This is going to be his left side. So again, I'll scale it down, S. Grab it over here. You can see that it needs to be rotated, so R. You can also, when you rotate, you can type in 90, and that way it'll rotate a perfect 90 degrees, or you can press R and you can type in -90, and it'll rotate the other way. So if you want to be nice and precise, you can do that. So again, now this is the part where some of my students make a mistake. They will oftentimes try to align it to right here up in the top, but remember this top tab here, that's for when you are actually printing this out in paper, and so we just go straight across. So this bottom one here is going to go down here like that. This one here is going to go like that, and then this one here is going to go straight across like that. Real simple like. And we don't have to worry about these slits right here because that's where the arms are going to go. Now, if you're wondering about this little bag, if your character has props like this, I would model this as a separate object and then just stick it on over that. So just ignore that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, and everything else is pretty much the same thing. Here's his right side, here's his back, of course, and then here's his bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue that, go around, and I'll see you when I'm close to being done. Okay, so to finish up the top face here, it doesn't really matter what you do with this one because it's going to be connected to the head, so you really won't see it. But if you did want to do it, what I would do is I would just scale it down. It's really just going to be like the skin. It's really going to be the same as underneath his face right there. So if you can find a portion of skin, and I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in here, scale it down, and find that skin tone, and that'll work. Something like that. Again, it's not perfect, but you really won't see it. All right, so I'm going to tab out of edit mode and go back into object mode. And there we are. So now what I can do is I can go back here to layout mode, and you'll see in layout mode, we can't see any of our textures. So you just have to remember to press Z, material preview, and there we go. Okay, so I'll press numpad 1. Now you notice that numpad 1 doesn't, again, the way I modeled mine, front view is actually his back view. So if I press control numpad 1, then it will actually show me the other side. So now I can press G, grab it, and I can basically place him right up here. So this is looking good now. Just something like that. Okay, that's looking pretty good. All right, in the next video, I will tackle the arms. I'll see you then.